in the O'Reilly Series.
Drivers, start your engines.
Well, easy enough today on a 1-mile track, 200 laps.
200 laps. The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is green at the Monster Mile.
Saw the 20 and Brandon Jones spin his tires, but actually got a really good launch right there, even with being on the inside lane. Got a great battle for the lead right there on the inside.
Does he clear him here off at 2? That's key, not quite. So now Ross able to fight back as you see cars all over the place behind them, side by side. This is so treacherous.
Oh,
Really, then he gets loose. That's what you run the risk of when you're that inside car. It takes away that right rear side force. He went up the racetrack.
Yeah, fortunately, Ross left him just enough room that...
Just talking about Parker Retzloff, and that's Jeb Burton, the other car. That's on the back straightaway going into turn 3, and Retzloff has got serious damage.
Yeah, and this actually starts ahead of them when we get some replays here. Brent Cruz, if Jeb Burton has major damage. Brent Cruz had an issue off of 2. It was my pick, that's unfortunate, but he had an issue. They sort of got checked up behind him, and we end up with this incident between Retzloff and Jeb Burton.
Running 13th here.
Right, so Ryan Sieg gets loose underneath him, kicks him up the track. He hits the right side, and as behind them, you see that they're kind of, I believe they were almost checking up.
Oh, yeah, LeVar Scott just... Oh, they do. They all check up. You see Jeb checks up, and then Retzloff gets into the back of him, and then the 45 of LeVar Scott gets into the back of Retzloff. Just kind of a accordion effect right there of Jeb seeing it first.
Well, this is what we talk about. Things happen fast here at Dover under L1. Chastain, the leader, back in the outside lane, did not get as good of a start that time, and Brandon Jones in control as they go to 1.
Yeah, Chastain cannot get going on that outside lane, which is typically a little bit better. You see Jones has him cleared now. We thought Jones might actually have a little quicker car just before that caution came out, so we'll see what he can do now with some clean air.
Yeah, historically, the bottom's harder to hook up the rear tires because you're trying to kind of be at a worse angle as you come off the banking there, and it's awkward to get the power down. But great job by Brandon Jones. Is Quapple there to the outside of Williams Sawalich.
Get that top lane working a little bit here. Looks like he's still struggling, though. Sawalich is going to clear him on the inside. See Jesse Love trying to get to that quarter panel, just get his nose stuck in there. One's going to give him a little bit of room.
This is the race for 7th.
Right there.
Quapple will clear him, taking things over. These guys at the front have not moved up the racetrack near as much as they have in the back half of the top 10. But I imagine word will reach them pretty quickly that may be where they want to go, as we see Chastain move about a car width or so off the wall there in 2nd.
He's been all over the place. Yeah. He's tried a multitude of different lines. Brendan's been a little bit more conservative. I'd say Corey Day here, we're watching, trying to get around Sawalich, has been one of the most aggressive. You noted Jamie getting to the top, chasing that gray, going as high as you possibly can to get the runs off the corner. He was so loose earlier on, but this has obviously come to him in running the outside and getting those straight drives off the top side of the racetrack.
And there's a threshold, though, of going to the top here. Once you get right up by the wall, especially in 3 and 4, it gets rough. So you're chasing grip, but you get too high, and the car just starts bouncing really bad.
Into the stage here out of turn number 4, Brandon Jones will see the green and white checkered flags. 17th career stage win for the 20 in his first here at Dover. Good race there. Ross Chastain, Sam Mayer, Taylor Gray, and Raja Caruth fill out the top 5.
That's what killed all of his momentum. You see Raja is going to run the top here. He's going to have a big run now because Ross is going to have to check up just a little bit for this lap car on exit. We'll see what the 88 can have here down into turn 3.
Blake Lothian and Dawson Cram, the 2 cars going a lap down, creates some separation between the top 2. But Caruth closes back in again. Final lap in stage 2.
Ross did a nice job being able to clear both of those lap cars. I thought that was going to play into Raj's hand, but Ross was able to pass one on the top and one on the bottom and actually built a little bit of a gap.
Some of that Cup experience right there of having to deal with traffic so effectively and so quickly, allowing him to get away from Raja.
Start zone, it'll be Ross Chastain, the control car in the outside lane with Taylor Gray at his left elbow. Back to green at Dover.
Still struggling just a little bit to get a good launch in that outside lane. Ross has had 3 shots at it today. But you're going to see another Joe Gibbs Racing car right there. Taylor Gray trying to clear him, not quite off turn 2. They'll drag race now down into turn 3.
And this is where Ross has the leverage, right? Once again, it's just like the replay at the start of the race. That inside car gets a little loose. He then takes the lead around the outside in 3 and 4. If you're going to start on the outside, you want to try and clear them at 1 and 2. He hasn't been able to do that, but he has all the leverage with that positive momentum down into 3 to be able to take the lead out of 4.
And we talked about that slow stop for Brandon Jones. You see him back in 8th right now, but the guy that had the fastest stop was Corey Day, all the way up to 4th. See what kind of adjustments Adam Wall made to that car. We saw how loose he was at the start of the race. Around the top.
Hey, and you know, we saw this same thing happen last year with another Joe Gibbs car with Taylor Gray. He won the first stage. They had a slow stop in stage 1, buried in traffic. They never really recovered. So important for Jones here to try to pick some off early. They know he's fast. He knows he's fast, but the hardest part now is going to be getting through this traffic and back to the front.
And what did Taylor say last year? He went from having probably the best car on the racetrack to the worst car he had ever driven because of the dirty air that happens around here. That's really tough because you made adjustments thinking you'd at least stay in maybe the front 2 rows, and now you're buried in traffic and the car's going to handle completely different than what you probably adjusted for.
Good news is, as we saw in stage 1, track has widened out, so some options in theory for the 20 to try to pick some off here. He's up to 9th.
A fair amount of tire fall off as well. We saw 1.3 seconds over the course of the 45 laps in stage 1. We'll see if that gets better or worse. This run won't be near as long. We've only got 33 laps left in this stage, but that final stage, they're going to have a ways to go, and guys are going to have to balance that out.
Good race for 5th here. Jesse Love on the outside in the 2. William Sawalich in the 18. Both these cars have been in and around the top 5 all day so far.
So we'll get Justin Allgaier continuing to try and move
slowly continuing to work his way to the front. It's hard to complete that pass. See, Jones gets that little bit of momentum on the outside. Justin, though, he's really good at running the bottom at all these places. We noted in qualifying earlier, he kind of ran a lower line than a lot. It's just so hard because of the momentum the outside lane has on the exit.
And look what happened to Brandon Jones. Winning the stage to now trying to fend off just to stay in the top 10 with Justin Allgaier and Ryan Sieg. Hot in his heels as Justin got a little loose there, had to back out of it.
4-pack on the left of the screen there is a good race. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, all right on top of each other.
We think so.
Sawalich has been trapped. Yeah, we got a yellow. Sawalich was trapped on the bottom there. Oh, big crash. Blaine Perkins into the wall hard.
Yeah, this was a really hard hit.
Window net down. You see Blaine moving around in the cockpit.
We'll get a look at this. I wasn't quite sure if he had a little help, maybe from Anthony Alfredo, or if Anthony was trying to just...
the rear end broke.
So looking down into 3 here, you see he's already sideways, and look at Anthony Alfredo there at 96. He was chasing it up.
Made it through.
Yeah, and he basically, as Blaine got sideways, Anthony was already committed to the outside lane, and at that point, he just couldn't get it to slow down and turn down. As we look back here from Sammy Smith's 8 car, there you see the smoke suddenly start, and then the car goes around. So that's
it's almost like something broke, being shifted,
yeah,
and the tire started rubbing on the body.
Broke, something like in the suspension there.
Under yellow for the 3rd time at Dover is King. Field back through the Echo Park restart zone. Chastain and Gray control the field once again. Better restart for the inside line.
And Chastain's been able to maintain the lead on sticker tires each time, but last time on the set of scuffs, we saw Brandon Jones able to sneak by, but
way better that time.
Yeah, Ross did a great job through 1 and 2, got a great exit. See Jesse Love pop up, just trying to get some clean air. It's incredible the difference, the balance in these cars. Brandon Jones, a great example. You mentioned Taylor Gray last year, kind of the same thing. Being out front, it's hard to get a good read of what you're going to need back in traffic.
And those reports we got from Heather and Kim on the 20 and the 7 almost sounded identical in that they both were struggling mightily in the
wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has the solution. Scan the QR code to learn more at soundgear.com. Go by in a hurry. 10 to go already in stage 2. Our thanks to Sound Gear for going full throttle. Great opportunity to watch and observe how these drivers are managing this racetrack.
Rogers thought he might be done. The damage we saw, not just on the right rear, you see all the tape they put on there to hold it together, but also the right front. There, could be some suspension damage to the right front of that car, but 19's a nice job. You see him slide in there and drive all the way up the racetrack, just trying to clear Sammy Smith.
How do you feel if you're Sammy and you see that car drive by
so
you?
deflating. So
It's not
deflating.
a good feeling.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second, that car's wrecked.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's been a quiet day for the 8 team. Been outside of the top 10. Here's the race for the lead, coming to 5 to go in stage 2. Chastain has led the entire distance in this second stage, but Carruth is keeping him honest.
Well, and Roger's moving around right now, trying to figure out, as Parker referenced, if the car in front of you is running the bottom and you can get to their outside, pass is pretty easy because you have the momentum down the straightaway. But the fact that Ross is just running a different line every lap, that's what killed all of his momentum. You see Raja is going to run the top here. He's going to have a big run now because Ross is going to have to check up just a little bit for this lap car on the exit. We'll see what the 88 can have here down into turn 3.
Blake Lothian and Dawson Cram, the 2 cars going a lap down, creates some separation between the top 2. But Carruth closes back in again. Final lap in stage 2.
Ross did a nice job being able to clear both of those lap cars. I thought that was going to play into Raj's hand, but Ross was able to pass one on the top and one on the bottom and actually built a little bit of a gap.
Some of that Cup experience right there of having to deal with traffic so effectively and so quickly, allowing him to get away from Raja.
Most laps led in his career at Dover for Chastain, and he'll cap it off with a stage 2 victory, 11th stage win in his O'Reilly Auto Parts Series career, and second here at the Monster Mile. Raja Carruth, Taylor Gray, Jesse Love, Sam Mayer. Progressive Pit Road is open, and here they all come. We start with Kim Kuhn.
And leader Ross Chastain having the same complaint as stage 1, said, lost my turn, back to being the same tight as earlier. You see him at the top of the screen. Crew Chief Philip Bell saying they'll take another swing at it. And Heather, this was the same condition they were battling in practice yesterday. 3 different times they tried to free him up yesterday, tried to take a big swing at it today, and he is still battling that. You saw the chassis adjustment.
And Taylor Gray battling, firing off snug and on the splitter. He said it built tight on exit as the run went, but he also said he can't be any freer in the rear. He's at his limit there, so a slight adjustment for the 54. Also in Raja Carruth, his crew chief reminded him, get into the box better than the last pit stop. He said, as far as feedback for the car, pretty good, snug late, so wants to be free up at the end of the run.
Progressive race off pit road. Good stop from the 2 boys. Jesse Love. The field hits the Echo Park restart zone. It's Jesse Love and Raja Carruth on the front row as we go back to green.
I think Jesse did a nice job right there, almost getting a little push from Chastain, who's behind him. We've seen the 88, though, be so good on the bottom. It's just all about how loose do they get down into turn 3. Raja have to really discipline himself getting down into this corner.
There it goes.
No! 2 leaders together. Love in the wall. Carruth saves it, but some right side damage.
It's happened on every restart. Raja just got a little looser from those other guys. You just got to be so disciplined knowing that car's on your outside. Jesse Love, I'm sure, is furious.
This is an important restart. As we look back, he had positive momentum by side drafting, but as he gets down the corner, Jesse was giving him space.
Gave him plenty of room on entry for
you
sure.
You can see there as he starts to hit those bumps right at the basically end of the entry, that big hop in the rear, that takes the rear out of the racetrack, and he starts chasing it up into the 2 car.
Raja really doesn't have any damage right now, I mean, other than sliding those tires, but the 2 of Jesse Love, as we're going to ride on board with him, he's just along for the ride. He gave Raja plenty of room on the bottom.
2 drivers there into 3.
Back to green, field through the Echo Park restart zone. It's Ross Chastain and William Sawalich now at the front of the field.
Ross has done a great job on the outside. You got to know these guys understand exactly what happened. You see Ross straightaway almost got into the wall. You see him fighting to get back to the bottom.
Allgaier starting to come to life. Raja Carruth involved in another incident, this time with Harrison Burton.
Your brake, hold your brake, hold your brake.
Under caution for the 6th time.
Oh, and Harrison gets in the inside wall.
I think the 88 has any damage again.
Might have got away with it, but it's got to get refired here.
You see Sammy Smith trying to capitalize on that run, and just got Raja up out of the groove a little bit, and he was just trying to catch it for the rest of the way around the corner, and poor Harrison Burton was just innocent victim in all that.
It's really 3 cars to 1. I know it looks similar to what happened to Raja with Jesse Love, but in this case there with the 8 getting there so late, Raja couldn't turn down, so then he's in a compromised
you get
position
spooked too, right? You can't yank on the full gas. If it goes green, he might be in a great position.
Andrew sat down now, ready to watch his driver go to work here. We go back to green with 83 to go. Sawalich and Chastain the front row, and Ross getting swarmed right away here for the 2nd spot.
And an aggressive move by Corey Day there, trying to go 3 wide the inside of Sam Mayer. Didn't quite work out as he falls back behind Carson Kvapil, but really aggressive move.
Look at what he's doing and where he's at on his door.
Yeah, and he's given Taylor plenty of room. Taylor didn't drive in there quite as deep this time.
Contest for 2nd, and around goes the 54 hard into the inside wall. Caution for the 7th time.
Boy, you got to wonder for the 7 here, though. Does that, if you filled it full of fuel, how close are you now? You might get to have all that track position back. And these guys, as they start to check up, I think that's ultimately what sent the 54 around.
And what started pushing the 9 so sideways wasn't even contact. It was packing that air in the left rear right there, and then eventually touches, and Ross does an incredible job holding on to it and saving it right there. But wow, 54 had no chance once, as you mentioned, Sam Mayer got in the back of him.
The 9 did
Tires up here, and strategies.
Yeah, Patterson pitted 10 laps ago, so he's got a little better tires than the 87 of green does. They both fire off okay.
Great job on the outside. Got rolling. Austin Green did.
Look at Corey Day there, 3 wide around the outside.
Green is clear of Patterson. As Kvapil looks inside 3 wide there for a moment on Jones and Andrew Patterson, who's dropping back on those older tires.
Corey Day with a massive run on the outside. Now going to get, got another spinner. Garrett Smithley's around.
Caution for the 8th time today. Garrett making his 300th NASCAR National Series start today. Doesn't look like too much damage.
This is not what Allgaier wanted. He had that little bit of a gap, had the track position.
Here's a look at Garrett Smithley, already spun around there at the top of the screen.
Yeah, hard to tell exactly how he ended up in that position.
Hopefully that was not SS Greenlight on SS Greenlight there with the 0 in the 07. Thompson 6th in the other SHR car as well, so both of them having a much-needed good day. Back to green with 68 to go.
Dude, Justin's been so good on the outside right there. You see both he and William Sawalich going to be able to clear Harrison. Corey Day getting right there to the quarter panel.
That got so close right there. Harrison was coming.
You. And the top 3, all with some clean racetrack to try to at least close that gap. And we go under yellow once again. It's Garrett Smithley for the 2nd time today.
The rear of that race car is completely peeled off.
He had some damage from that first incident. I wonder if it contributed to this.
Yeah, he's blown a right rear tire out. You see,
You
it's just
expect that. You normally kind of need a long run car. Here's a look at what happened to Garrett Smithley.
Wow.
You see that right rear tire explode on the exit of the corner. He's fortunate that he didn't hit the wall harder right there. Man, just the worst place that could happen.
You don't see that often in that fashion. Wow. The tire just
Side lane, William Sawalich fills out the front row. Corey Day and Sam Mayer in row 2. Back to green at the Monster Mile.
Justin does a great launch right there. Is he going to be able to clear the 18? He is. Look at how he drives it down in there. Sawalich will have a little run on exit, but no, Justin shuts the door.
And look at Sam Mayer around the outside of Corey Day.
Tight.
It got really close. He almost got cleared, but nope. He has now cleared Corey Day down into 3 and can set his sights on William Sawalich and Justin Allgaier.
And as fast as Mayer was before that yellow, I think he knew he needed to get going.
But not with the same speed down the straightaway, it doesn't look to me like.
Oh, Corey may have gotten the wall there on entry to turn number 1. Just ever so slightly. Was right up against it. 7 to go, coming to 6 to go right here. 3 last lap passes this season, potentially setting ourselves up one.
Corey's going to be able to beat his outside here on the exit of the corner.
Oh, real side. He's into the wall and takes the lead.
What a pass.
Great stuff at the front. The lap car throwing both of the leaders for a loop, but Allgaier not giving up. Back to the left rear. Day clears in 3 to go.
Well, that's going to be Allgaier's only hope is that he can try to make the bottom work, but just be shocked when we've seen the speed out of the 17. Look how loose the 7 is on the bottom.
And Day's got to race it out. Corey Day led only the final lap in his win earlier this year at Talladega. He's not going to lead much more than that if he can hang on to this one. Out of turn 4, he'll look at the white flag. 1 to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank for Corey Day.
See, all clean track in front of the 17 right here. He's going to maintain doing what he has. Allgaier's going to sit it in there deep, but I just don't think he's going to have enough.
And the biggest thing is just don't jump the cushion.
Final time down the back straightaway. He'll work the high lane through 3 and 4. Allgaier closes in again, but it's not enough. Out of turn 4, second win of the year. Corey Day victorious at Dover.
Well earned.
Awesome drive.
I don't know if anybody expected him to win at Talladega, but this feels a little bit more like a racetrack where we would expect Corey Day to put together a race-winning drive. Had to search around all day, and he earned that one in the closing laps.
That was